The American artist Abbott Handerson Thayer painted the Stevenson Memorial in 1903 from his studio in Dublin, New Hampshire. As the title suggests, he painted it as a memorial for the Scottish writer Robert Louis Stevenson, who had died 9 years earlier. Stevenson was known for his writings like Treasure Island and A Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and his writings greatly appealed to Thayer. The painting in front of us shows a winged angel in a classical white gown and a halo above her head. The angel is a reference to the mysteries of life and death, an issue that deeply affected Thayer. The angel sits on top of a rock, which serves as a tombstone and is inscribed with the letters V-A-E-A, referring to the name of a mountain in the Samoan Islands where Stevenson was buried. The background is fairly indistinct, except for a palm tree, suggesting that the tombstone is indeed placed on top of a mountain. After Thayer completed the painting, it went on display in museums across the United States, where it was very well received by visitors, and it is still loved by many today. Robert Louis Stevenson was a Scottish writer, best known for his books like A Child's Garden of Verses, Kidnapped, Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and Treasure Island. The characters in his books show a deep psychological complexity, and one theme that runs throughout his work are stories of men who are at war with themselves. Stevenson's works have had a big influence on many future writers like Ernest Hemingway and Rudyard Kipling, and many movie directors have also been inspired by Stevenson. Not only have several of his books been made into movies, but some movie directors were just inspired by the psychological depth and Victorian themes in Stevenson's work. For example, Alfred Hitchcock read the books of Stevenson as a child, and you can see some clear parallels between his movies and the books of Stevenson. Stevenson was an adventurer, and he traveled extensively around the world, which he used as inspiration for his writings. When Stevenson was almost 40 years old, he moved with his wife and her children to the Samoan Islands, a Polynesian island country in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. He would die there several years later. He was buried on Mount Vaea, and this is the location that Thayer has inscribed in this painting. Abbott Handerson Thayer was an American painter of portraits, animals and landscapes. His work was heavily influenced by some of the tragic experiences in his personal life. In the early 1880s, 2 of his young children died a year apart quite unexpectedly. And almost 10 years later, in 1891, the father of his wife died. She did not deal well with that and started to suffer from a severe mental illness which caused her death soon after that. The stories of Robert Louis Stevenson greatly appealed to Thayer, as he saw parallels between the ups and downs of the characters in Stevenson's stories and his own life. Just as an example, research has shown that below this painting, Thayer had first painted a portrait of his 3 children, which was a tribute to Stevenson's famous book A Child's Garden of Verses, a collection of 65 poems dealing with the themes of childhood, illness, play and solitude. And 6 years before he painted the Stevenson Memorial, Thayer had painted another work, which was intended as a memorial for Stevenson. It was a painting of his children. Originally, his daughter in the center was holding a plaque with Stevenson's monogram, but as people did not clearly see the connection to Stevenson in that painting, he altered it to its current form by transforming the plaque into a laurel wreath. It was Thayer's idea to create something that would help the spirit of Robert Stevenson to live on. Just like the memory of Thayer's wife lived on in his children, he intended to create a memory for Stevenson by creating this painting. And what he may not have known at that point was that Stevenson's spirit has certainly lived on in his written stories, which are still enjoyed by many people today. The place where Stevenson is buried is called Mount Vaea, a 472 meters high mountain located just outside Apia, the capital of the independent state of Samoa. Nowadays you can still visit the place by climbing a path called the Road of Loving Hearts, which is about a 1-hour hike by foot. On the tomb of Stevenson, the following requiem is inscribed: "Under the white and starry sky, dig the grave and let me lie. Glad did I live and gladly die, and I laid me down with a will. This be the verse you grave for me, here he lies where he longed to be. Home is the sailor, home from sea, and the hunter home from the hill." And as Samoa is not a place that many of us will visit during our life, we are lucky to have this beautiful memorial by Thayer. The painting is on display in the Smithsonian American Art Museum in Washington, D.C. I want to thank you for watching this video. As always, I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please support the channel by subscribing and leaving a like and a comment to this video. I hope to welcome you in one of my other art videos soon.